Hello, hello, darlings. This is Michelle B, and I want to talk to you a little bit about how to read the tarot intuitively for yourself. Now, this is a little bit of a stray from my usual video. That's the ephemeral, time-based readings for astrological signs. Instead, I just want to talk about you reading tarot for yourself so that you can get your own personal feedback instead of needing it from somebody else if you've got a deck of your own. One of the things that I did when I was learning how to read tarot in the first place was I watched a lot of YouTube videos of other readers talking about the energies that they got from particular cards. But that kind of came later because I wasn't in touch with YouTube. YouTube wasn't such a big deal. Actually, when I first started studying the cards, I had a book. I had one of those old-fashioned books that had all 78 cards. It had like an image of the Rider-Waite deck. It had an image of each card, and then I had like the upright, or upright positive meanings, or the shadow reversed meanings, and just had a quick overview. Also the website Rider-Waite Tarot, which is one of the biggest, oldest websites. It's an Australian-based tarot reader. She created this wonderful website that's got excellent literal translations of it, but the readers that are involved in it and the lady that started the site herself will say, like, your intuition is more important than any literal meaning. So I started out with literal meanings, but I couldn't memorize any of them until I started doing it intuitively, until I started looking at the imagery and getting a feel of the card and telling a story from each card. So I'm going to talk about how to do that right now. And then we'll give some examples of how I would do that in a reading so that you know what to do for yourself. This is going to increase your confidence in reading dramatically. Okay? So for let's say I've got my first card here. For example, this is the Four of Wands, and here's the imagery. Now we've got, I wonder if I could do this. If I could just find another Four of Wands very easily. There's each deck is going to have different imagery, for like slightly different imagery. So I get a different vibe from each of my cards. It's not going to be right there on the top, of course. Thank you for your patience. Here it is. Okay, in my other deck, this is what the Four of Wands looks like. So I get a little bit of a slightly different energy from each of these Four of Wands. So one's a little bit more, I guess, subdued. It's a little bit more standoffish. It feels like, to me, the vibration that I get is the energy is like, it's like something that's off in the distance, something that we're hoping for. Whereas this one, this is the Golden Universal, and this is the Golden Art Nouveau. This one feels like it's something that's happening right now. This is like the bride, and she's happy, she's excited, or this is the bride, and she's happy and excited, and her girlfriend's just like, I'm gonna get married soon too. And so, like, even though it's they're both the Four Wands with boughs of flowers, slightly different energy. So that's what I'm looking at when I'm just looking at one of the cards, right? Say you've just got one deck, and I feel it. Is this a happy energy? Is it a sad energy? Is it, heavy or light energy? So I feel that. This also, the energy of the card will depend on what kind of mood I'm in when I'm asking the question. So if I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is never going to happen for me, then I'm like, I'm not going to feel heavy. I'm not going to feel good. I'm sorry. I'm not going to feel light from it. I'm going to feel heavy, right? Also, when it's contrasted with other cards in a spread, it can have a different vibration as well. So another thing that I'm doing is I'm telling a story when I'm looking at the cards. So let's take another example. So I've got, I don't want to do Wands again. Let's take a major arcana. We'll take the Lovers. So I'm looking at the Lovers, and I'm telling a story. Do these two look like they're super happy right now? Does this, like, what's the vibration I get from this? Of course, the first energy that I'm feeling I want to tell a story, but the first energy that I'm feeling when I'm looking at this is there's something going down, right? Look at the flames. Look at the action in this image, right? Something's going down, and it's like, it is like not good, right? Somebody's pissed, and these two are looking up and they're going, oh crap, we just did something bad together, right? And I'm trying to see if I got my lovers here right on the top. For this is my Art Nouveau deck, and I'm looking for the lovers in my Golden Universal, seeing if they're just real easy to grab. Thank you for your patience, my dears. Anyway, it's way more subdued. My lovers in my other deck is way more subdued, way more like, you know, standoffish. In general, most of the imagery in this other one, this Golden Universal, is a little bit more laid back. Keep finding my judgment over and over again. Not real easy to grab. Anyway, so I'm telling a little bit of a story where it's like these two were hanging out together and they did something they shouldn't have done, and of course the imagery is based on the idea of Adam and Eve, because you see they're naked. So if you've been raised in our culture at all, then you've heard of Adam and Eve and what happened to them, that they kind of screwed up and they broke the rules and they got in big trouble about it, right? Well, when you're asking a question, what kind of story can you put regarding Adam and Eve when it comes to the question that you're asking? Which part of that pertains to your question, right? So the story is this couple did something. Look at what else is in the cards, right? We've also got this like snake, right? The snake is here. Is that snake a good guy or a bad guy? What's up with the apples? What's up with the flames? Who's this person? Who's that person, right? Now, if you were not raised Christian and you don't know who that person is, it's supposed to be the angel Gabriel, but it could be anyone you want it to be. Okay, it doesn't matter. Magic is what you make of it. But if you want to be literal, you're not necessarily going to be interested in watching this video. It really doesn't matter though, because using your intuition is saying like the energetic story that I'm getting is like this person is helping these two. They're in trouble and this person's reaching out and giving them a hand, right? This person's putting them together. You can have another story. This person's helping those two get together when they've been separated from each other for a long time. You can make it anything that you want it to be. What about the sun? What kinds of ideas can you get from the sun? Why is this boy holding this flag? Why are there sunflowers in the background? And a story I could make up about it is the boy was living in some kind of like a negative household, an abusive household, and he got adopted by somebody who was really helpful, took him under their wing, and has like letting them, it's like the people are like letting the child play and have fun and enjoy life in ways that he's never enjoyed it before, and so he's so happy. Another story I could get is this kid is like Peter Pan and he thinks he can play all the time and like never have to do any work at all. Another story I could get is this is you with your inner child enjoying life, never feeling like you have to grow up, and feeling like after a long, because we're also looking at the numbers here, it's farther along in the story from 0 to 22. You're looking at it and going, so this is like a person's been through so much and then they turn back to their inner child and they're having a midlife crisis, but they're super happy, super giddy, having a really fun time. There's all kinds of stories that you can come up with from all of this. Okay? Let's do one more before I start matching the cards up together. I'm looking at the Two of Swords imagery. What's going on with this lady? How did she get into the position where she was sitting there in the dark with a blindfold on, holding two swords? Is she protecting her heart, or is she ready to fight? Why is she sitting by the water? Did she get pushed to that place, or is she there because that's the safe place for her to be? Okay. So let's go ahead and put these guys together. So I'm not even talking about numerology here. I'm not talking about symbolism that has to do with all of the elements of, you know, air, fire, water, and earth. I'm not talking about any of that right now. I'm just talking about looking at the images, looking at what's going on in the background, feeling the vibration, and telling a story. Okay, so I'm going to put my cards together in a little stack. We're going to tell a story before we finish up here. All right. Now I'm thinking I might make this like a regular installment for a while, maybe once a week. Put a little video up talking about how to read the tarot, because it's so fun. It's like I get infinite stories out of this. And when I tap into the energy, the general energy of the environment, I sense these wonderful stories, and like I feel the energy. What do I say? I feel the guidance flow through me. They just come to me. And I can't do it without the cards. I don't get that without the cards. Okay, so let's pull out a couple of cards. So I got one. All right, we got the Temperance card. Now I'm not talking about reversals either, because reversals, you can intuitively decide what the reverse means. Okay, you can decide to just go with it, and whatever your intuition tells you is what it is. That's what I go with. Is like, if it means reverse, then I kind of think about what I think about, like a backwards way or a roundabout way of looking at it. But usually I go with the upright. I look at it in the upright position, and I intuitively feel what it's trying to tell me. And sometimes that's a positive thing, and sometimes that's a negative thing. Sometimes it's about you, and sometimes it's about somebody else. So if we got the Temperance, what else do we have? I want to see how these cards play off of each other. We've got the Three of Pentacles. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, I want to let you look at that real quick. Now, I didn't ask any questions. And when you ask questions, then you can get more specific answers. But I didn't ask any particular questions with this yet. I just want to tell a story. Okay. So let's look at these. Look at these all together. Look at the way that each of them are facing. Look at how the energy is interplaying. This person's going off in this direction. He's not having anything to do with these people at all, right? To me, this lady feels like a guardian angel that's trying to create something. You see, there's a pentacle here and a pentacle here. That might have something to do. Like, this is like a story where two things are happening simultaneously, and there's this angel that's mixing things up and bringing everything together. An outside party that's creating something. Look at what's going on in this image. This guy's carving away on something. He's young, right? He's carving away at something. He's working away. These two look like they're talking amongst each other, and they're looking at this paperwork, and it's almost as if they're telling this guy what to do. And what's he turning around and saying to them? To me, he's turning around and saying, yeah, I got it, I can hear you. Or he's like, I'll get it done right away, sir. Or he's like, but you don't understand, I can't work that fast. Right? And I'm looking at where he's at, right? He's inside of a cathedral, inside of a building, and he's helping to create the building. What are these people's roles? Like I said, I feel like they're in a supervisory place. So when I play that off of this Knight of Pentacles, he's on a horse, he's looking at his pentacle, and he's thinking about, over time, I feel like he's saying, over time, I could build something really good. I can accumulate more and more money. He's looking at the money. He's like, I could get more and more money, right? And I could do that if people gave me opportunities to create cool stuff. If I had the opportunity to learn and work and get better and better at my craft, then I could accumulate more money. So I'm asking the universe to intervene in giving me opportunities to work. You see how I just did that? And so if I was asking a question, or if I was just saying in general, right? Universe, what do you want me to know? And it's saying to me, if you want to have opportunities to accumulate wealth or abundance, you've got to look for opportunities to, or ask for, there you go, ask your guardian angels, ask the spirit, ask the universe to steer you in the direction of collaborating with other people, of being able to learn new skills, of being able to practice your craft, of being able to practice my craft. Okay, so there's a story that I got from it. Okay, now let's ask some specific questions. Let's do, when we have a 3-card spread, we have like let's look at past, present, future. That's a really nice, easy one to go with. And we'll take 3 cards looking at past, present, future, asking a specific question. Whether or not I should break up with my boyfriend. Okay, how about that? Whether or not I should break up with my boyfriend. And I'm going in the general sense. I'm not talking about me. Okay, I got 3 cards that came out. And we'll talk in the future, in future videos, about how to choose cards. Okay, past, we got the Justice. Present, we've got the Knight of Wands. And future, we've got the the Page of Wands. Knight of Wands, Page of Wands. So past, we've got the Justice card. In the past, is this me? I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is me being discerning, being careful, being picky. You see that, how picky I am? Because I'm like, I'm looking at the imagery, right? Got a scale, which means that I'm trying to, I mean, you can tell by justice, right? I'm trying to figure out what's fair, and I'm trying to be very careful about what I'm doing. So I got a sword, so I'm like cutting away things that aren't important to me. Okay, that's what I'm looking at there. I'm sitting, it's like almost as if I'm sitting on a throne. So I'm in a regal position. So that I am in a position where I can be very picky. Or I was, right? This is the past. I was in a position where I could be very picky. And then, some guy comes running in. What does he look like? Does he look like he means business? Is he solid? Is he grounded? Or is he rushing in? Look at, he's like, his horse is even rearing up, like, I'm coming to get you, lady. I'm coming to get you, right? He's rushing in, and I'm like, and this is like me from the past, and like transitioning to the present, being like, I don't know about you. I don't know about you. And remember the question that I asked, should I break up with my boyfriend? So in the past, you were like, I'm not sure I can trust this guy, right? And then moving into the present, this guy's acting in ways that make me suspicious because he's in such a big freaking rush. He's doing this really fast. He's doing that really fast. He's not really thinking about what he's doing. Yeah. And then for the future, we have the Page of Wands. And I'm not going to talk about even knowing anything about this character. Okay, but if I look at the look on his face, is that a trustworthy look on his face? This is you in the relationship, or it's this person that you're with, or me, right? This person that I'm with, what they look like in the future. Are they going toward me, or are they going away from me, right? What is the story that I can create from that? This is like, I would guess that this is not a trustworthy person, and whereas he was holding his wand before rushing toward me, in the future, he's kind of looking like he's scheming, and he's like moving away from me in another direction. Where's he going? I don't know, but not toward me, right? So that's what I would do. Past, present, future. When I look at that, I can see the direction that everyone's facing and kind of come up with a story. I can look at the looks on their faces and get a feel of it. I can look at the objects that they're holding and say, well, there it is in this one, and there it is in that one. Okay? So I hope that, and you see how I related the story that I had to the question that I had. And my question was, I still want to finish off, but the question that I had was, should I break up with my boyfriend? The vibration that I got from this reading is that I should break up with my boyfriend, even though it's not real, right? This is a pretend reading. Is that I should break up with my boyfriend. That's my intuition saying I should break up with my boyfriend because he's not trustworthy and he's gonna be leaving anyway. He's gonna, like, his attention is short and he's moving on. Okay, so I hope that gave you some feedback on how to work with the tarot, even if you never opened a tarot book in your life. Okay, even if you know nothing about how the tarot works at all. In future videos, I will talk about the story of how the tarot is supposed to work when it was created. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. People divine messages from the way that tea leaves fall in a cup after you drink your tea. People divine messages from shapes in the clouds. People divine messages from, let's see, what else do people do? They divine messages from imagery that they get from their crystal balls. So you can use anything, including the tarot, to create a story, to let your intuition guide you to the answers that you would like to receive. Thank you so much for being with me. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Watch out for my readings that I give for each astrological sign on a regular basis. I love you, and I'll see you later.